Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll get started in just a moment.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are so excited again to see everybody. As many of you know, Connie Saunders and I just got back from a pretty exciting few days at sea on board Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas. And it was just really, really exciting to really start thinking about 2022. And, we have lots of exciting things to share with you all tonight. Some regarding our Royal Caribbean sailing, some regarding our AmaWaterways sailing, as well as some other really exciting things that Celiac Cruise is very proud to introduce into our program. So we wanted to start the night with a toast. Grab a glass of whatever you have near. I just want to, propose this toast to our community. Honestly, as many of you probably know me rather well by now, this whole concept, generally speaking, brings me to tears quite often. So I want to thank you all for just trusting us and allowing us to live out this dream that I think will continue to help our community, my family, your family, people who are diagnosed 10 years ago, and those who will be diagnosed with celiac or gluten restrictions tomorrow. So cheers, and thank you everyone for being here tonight. Here's just a little agenda of what we're going to be doing tonight, what we're going to be talking about. We have some wonderful, wonderful people, as you can see, from many different relationships of ours, and they're going to be sharing some new things, some things you might know, but I'll first give the floor to Megan Donnelly from Schar, who's just going to talk to you a little bit about Schar and their relationship with us.
All right, thank you so much, Maureen, and I'm so happy to be here with you all tonight. I do want to talk a little bit about Schar and how we're participating in the Celiac Cruise, which is one of our favorite events for 2020, so we're so happy that it's back in 2022. So a little bit of an overview of what we did last time. We featured some of our favorite breakfast and sweet items throughout the cruise, and we're looking to really expand that for this one. So, I'm a registered dietitian, so I love to get in the kitchen. I love to cook, and I'm really excited to do some cooking classes, cooking demos throughout the next cruise. We've got some really exciting new products that I would like to show you. And then we're also going to be supporting the Food Inequality Initiative, which Vanessa is going to talk about in a little bit. So I don't know if you guys know this, but we recently got a new look at Schar, and we have a lot of wonderful new packaging that I'm very excited to finally be able to share everyone. So you might see a different look on some of our products than you did last time. But really, we want to hear from you to understand what you guys would like to see on the cruise. So we just launched this really great all-purpose flour. It's a brand new product in the US. We've had it in Europe for years. It's one of the favorites, and we were so glad to finally be able to bring it over. But if there's anything you want to see on the cruise, let myself or Maureen know. You can type it in the chat during this presentation and Maureen will make sure I get all of the comments, or feel free to reach out to her directly and she can just keep sending them to me because I want to make sure you guys have the best experience from a food perspective as possible. So we're so excited to be participating and I'm really happy to be here tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, Megan. Again, we're very, very thankful and very proud of this wonderful group of people who are with us and have decided, again, as I consistently say, to trust our mission and our hearts and what we have planned for all of these cruises to come. So one thing we wanted to introduce and kind of share with everyone tonight, you may have seen us in the past kind of teasing it a little bit, but when Connie and I started Celiac Cruise, we knew, there was a lot of important things we needed to make sure we were a part of it. A lot of it obviously was safety. Number one, safety, to ensure our guests feel comfortable, feel safe, have that ability to really unplug and kick back on vacation and not have to worry so much about food. The incredible food, we want this food to be this quality, amazing things, not the things that we go home and say, okay, we checked a box, we ate gluten-free, but to really, really give you that culinary experience. Education, I really, really find the importance and the value of sharing the latest research. So Celiac Cruise will always bring a medical team on board to ensure that you guys have that information, whether you choose to go, but it will always be there, and eventually philanthropy. And we're very, very excited that we will have just launched a relationship with Boston Children's Hospital and that we will be feeding our community. So Vanessa's going to share a little bit about the challenges, as some of us know, of how much the food cost that is gluten-free, but Celiac Cruise will actually be feeding some of our community to ensure that they don't have to eat gluten. So Vanessa, go ahead, take it from here.
I thank you so much, Maureen, for having me tonight. And thank you so much to you and Connie and your team for being willing to get involved in this very, very important work. I was so lucky to get to go on the first sailing in January 2020, and it was truly one of the most amazing experiences for me and my family. And I feel so lucky that to have met you and that you are so willing to give back in such a big way to the celiac community. So thank you for doing this and for creating a pathway to get food to the tables of people who need it most in our community. So Maureen asked me to share a little bit tonight about food insecurity and celiac disease and why this project is really important. So just so everyone has a clear definition, the USDA defines food insecurity as a lack of consistent access to enough food for an active and healthy life. Feeding America projects that 42 million people, which is 1 in 8, including 13 million children, may experience food insecurity in 2021. As you all know, the gluten-free diet is expensive. It doesn't matter if you have 2 working parents, 2 incomes in the household, no matter how you slice and dice it, the gluten-free diet is extremely expensive. We know that processed gluten-free foods are consistently more expensive than their gluten-containing counterparts. There have been lots and lots of studies looking at this that have identified the gap as between 4 and over 1,000% more expensive. We also know that the nutritional content of gluten-free food items is often poorer than conventional food, which plays a huge role in the ability for gluten-free products to be covered by state and federal assistance programs. We also know that these things are all major barriers for people with celiac disease to maintain the gluten-free diet and in turn maintaining good health. So I want to just talk for 1 second about state and federal programs. The 2 biggest ones are the SNAP and WIC programs, which do not take into account the steep increased cost of gluten-free foods. WIC actually requires that bread and cereal products be made from whole wheat or not contain added things, which many gluten-free products do. So there are very few items that families with celiac disease can purchase under the WIC program that are specialty items like bread or pasta. Also, free and reduced breakfast and lunch programs in schools do not actually reimburse the schools for the increased cost of gluten-free food, which is another major barrier for kids who are used to getting 1 or 2 meals a day at school. So what do we know about food insecurity and celiac disease? Well, not really anything. And that's largely because there have been no studies published in the United States looking at food insecurity rates in families with celiac disease. So we are so excited that we are now able to do research on this and that we are looking at this. But since there is no data yet to share broadly, I want to share what some families say. These are real quotes from real families that we have seen in our clinics. My child qualifies for free breakfast and lunch, but they can only provide apples, bananas, and yogurt. This family's school does not have the ability to bring in things like bread or gluten-free products for the child. We live in a shelter for women and children, and there are no gluten-free options or labels. It's impossible to use SNAP or WIC benefits for gluten-free food. If I do, I can't feed the rest of my family. My daughter has eaten gluten several times this year because we can't afford gluten-free bread. Our local food pantry rarely has gluten-free bread or dry snacks for my son to take to school. The only food pantry with gluten-free food is over an hour away. The gas is too much to get there. I run a group foster home. I really try, but I struggle to buy enough gluten-free food given what I'm allocated to spend. What's more important, eating gluten-free because I have celiac or eating enough to survive? So these are real problems for people who have extreme difficulty accessing food every single day. The good news is that we believe that we can help, and we are so grateful for the support of Celiac Crews and from all of you out in the community to help us help these families. So what are we going to do as part of this project together? We're looking at quality improvement programs and research, advocacy, and of course, developing educational material and resources for the organizations that need it most. As I mentioned, we're currently doing research. We are asking anyone who has celiac disease or follows a gluten-free diet to please complete this survey. It is open to anyone in the United States. It's quick and easy to fill out, only about 3 to 5 minutes. There's a QR code up on the screen, and I'll also post the link to it in the chat. Please fill this out. It doesn't matter if you don't consider yourself as food insecure. We need to know how everybody accesses gluten-free food so we have a really good understanding of the entire community. Again, just another bigger QR code. Please complete the survey. So how are we going to use this data? So we are starting a pilot project in partnership with Celiac Crews, the Celiac Disease Foundation, Food Equality Initiative, where we are going to be looking at lots of different ways to help feed people. So part one is we're going to actually be feeding people. We're going to be enrolling families across the United States, and with the partnership of the Food Equality Initiative, sending food directly to their doorstep, which is extremely exciting. We're also going to be looking at lots of different advocacy angles, like how can we increase the allotment under SNAP and WIC programs for families with celiac disease? How can we help schools pay for free and reduced breakfast and lunch programs that include gluten-free products for these children? And how do we look at requiring state and federally funded food providing organizations to always have gluten-free and allergen-free options for these kids? So what could be better than traveling around the world and supporting food insecure families? We are just so grateful for the partnership and collaboration with Celiac Crews, and just a huge thank you to Maureen and to Connie and to the whole team who are making this possible.
Thank you, Vanessa. So yes, we're very, very excited to share that, yes, a portion of all of Celiac Crews, our proceeds will be going towards the Food Equality Initiative, so to help feed these families. So you're going to see some events on board, you're going to see some events before the cruise, after the cruise, but we're just going to really, really try and make it fun to be able to help these families. All right, so now to talk a little bit about the Royal Caribbean sailing that many of you are joining us on. So there's a lot of things, that March 31st, April 5th, we are going to spend some glorious days out at sea. And as I said earlier, I don't want to rub it in, but I must tell you, it was just so amazing to be back. I think we had so many laughs. We were so productive in planning some exciting things for the future, but there was also a series of tears because as we all probably will have that first time we're able to step on board that ship. But what you all know already, we have a dedicated gluten-free galley. So essentially a galley is our kitchen on board. So all of the food produced in our galley will be 100% gluten-free for the duration of our sailing. Our menus will be 100% gluten-free. So you will be able to have that amazing feeling that we all know when you go to a restaurant and they give you that menu. You don't have to ask questions about specific items. Can you change this? Can you do this? That whole menu, and there will be a series of appetizers, a series of first course. I mean, it's going to be amazing. We will also be accommodating other dietary restrictions. I'm really going to increase the focus on some dairy-free options for our community, so that will be a part of it as well. There'll be late night dining options just because we are on a cruise and everyone gets hungry again. So there'll be a late night evening option that again is coming from our gluten-free galley. We will have many medical and lifestyle celiac experts on board that will be there to provide that education. That is such a fundamental piece of our programming. And there'll be many education sessions. So what is new? We have some new things we can share with you all. We jump to that next slide, my friend. There we go. All right, what is new? So private dining rooms, that big S there. So yes, there will not be one, there will be two. And you will be receiving some information from Connie and I in coming weeks about early and late seating. So we're going to have two seatings for our group. So you'll be able to determine whether you want to sit at the early seating, which I believe is 6 p.m., and then the late one, which is generally 8 or 8:30. So we will have those specific times for you when it's time to come and ask you, but we'll be receiving an email from us, kind of just curious what your preferences are. We're going to have more social gatherings. As you've heard me mention, we have the entire conference room space down on deck 2, which holds 600 to 800 people. So we're going to really turn that up because that was something that you all really had said you wanted more of, which I love, but there'll be opportunities for kids to get together. There'll be opportunities for adults to get together. So we're going to really be creative with that. And we're also open to ideas. If you guys want to share things that you have great ideas of what we can do. We've talked about recipe swaps. We've just talked about some really things that, again, fun things that can pull our community together. Chops. I don't know if any of you remember what Chops is, but Chops is the steakhouse. So it is another dining venue on the ship. We will be dedicating that one night. It will be completely gluten-free. So that will be actually a fundraiser for the food equality discussion we had, and that we'll have some information for that for you all in coming weeks as well. So we'll send a registration link, but it's an amazing steakhouse, and again, another opportunity for no one to have to think but at a steakhouse. We'll have some food and security events to help our community on board with some fun, family games and just stuff like that. We may have some specific film viewings through the duration of the cruise, because as you all know, we have those 2 days at sea that we're very excited to make use of. I mentioned the conference space. We'll have some special gluten-free opportunities at different destinations. We are in process of finalizing that, but I think you all will be very happy with what we're in the works of coming up with as it relates to, getting on land to do some amazing tasting in foods and such. So excursions will be coming. We, again, are finalizing that as we speak, as it relates to ensuring that there are options that we feel confident and comfortable sharing with our community. As you know, we take it very serious. We're not going to just say, hey, we can eat here. We want to make sure that we're safe, because we know to the lengths in which Royal Caribbean is going to keep us safe on board. We don't want to jeopardize that on land. So we will have information for that, and you will be able to sign up directly on our website and through a link that we send you via email to kind of select your excursions that you want to do. And there will be many surprises. I can't share them all yet, but just know they're coming, and I think you all will be very happy. So we want to ask you guys, so as you know, we are filling fast, and we, after Colleen and I had some time to meet this weekend, we want to know where you guys want to go because we've got some really fun plans in the works. So if you wouldn't mind selecting, if you are watching this through the webinar link, where you want to go on your next celiac cruise. I'll give you all a minute to do that. I know there will be other options to come as well, but we just thought this would be a fun thing. Wow, look at that. Good to know. Make some notes there, Connie. We all agree. All right, so let's see. Next, I'm going to hand it to the lovely Connie Saunders and let her kind of give you an update of where we are today from the travel side of it.
Well, fortunately, but unfortunately, the Mariner of the Seas that Maureen has done such a great job of telling everybody about tonight is pretty much sold out. We've been calculating and recalculating all the cabins, and fortunately, if you haven't booked today, you can go ahead and fill out the pre-registration form on celiaccruise.com and we'll put you on the wait list. And, you know, things happen. Sometimes people get engaged and they get married and, you know, people have work things that come up so they can't attend. So we have the sooner you get on the waiting list, the sooner there's a chance that you might get on the ship. So if you haven't registered, we want to encourage you to do so. The AmaLea for October 23rd, which was our chartered first ever river cruise, making history. We have the whole ship. The whole ship is gluten-free, every meal, everything, sold out in 3 weeks. So we called AmaWaterways and said, you know, since the cruise is going to be already gluten-free for a whole week for 79 cabins full of people, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just charter the next week too, because the ship's already clean? So we added a second sailing. Many of you already know, but some of you might not, that the new sailing is going to be October 30th through November 6th. And it's just the reverse of the first week, which is the 23rd. So we've already sold about a third of that ship too. So if you're interested in joining us, you'll want to do your pre-registration form on that as well. And all the details can be found at celiaccruise.com, and you'll see the link for the new sailing. And if you go to the next slide, you can see that the two sailings are October 23rd through the 30th is Budapest to Wielshofen, and October 30th to November 6th is just the reverse from Wielshofen back down to Budapest. So it's just a reverse of the first sailing. For the second sailing, both are fabulous cruises. There's not a bad route to go. So in order to be able to tell you a little bit more about this cruise, we've invited the one and only Sebastian Leroy from AmaWaterways. Hi, Sebastian, who's going to take it over and tell us, as the cruise manager on board the ship, what would we see and what would we do?
Yeah, hi, thank you very much for having me. Actually, I had just some great information from all of you, starting with Megan and then of course with Vanessa, everybody. So it's really great. And it will be my pleasure to show you some of the highlights, I would say, from this second cruise, because the first one was really a success. I mean, as Connie said, it sold out like really quick, and we can't wait to welcome you on board. And as was just mentioned, the entire ship will be completely dedicated to the celiac cruise. So it will be a completely gluten-free environment. So the AmaWaterways river cruise ships look exactly like the one you see here. And Connie just mentioned it. Actually, you did a great job. I mean, 79 cabins for our guests. Really a nice environment, and we just want you to have a great time on the Danube River. For those of you who have not been on a river cruise yet, you will see that there are a few differences between a Royal Caribbean ship and obviously the one that you see here, starting with the size and also the waterways where you will be cruising on, but also the inside. You must see a river cruise ship a little more like your basically your floating hotel that will take you from this one place to the other through the countries. So the staterooms are very well appointed, very well. The accommodations are absolutely amazing. A lot of space on board the ship, simply because we only carry about 160 guests, which gives us really the possibility to have a lot of amenities on board, talking about multiple dining venues. So of course, there will not be as many dining venues as on an ocean liner, but that's also not the idea. You will see that the ship looks absolutely beautiful. That's an example of our chef's table restaurant, which you will find in the aft of our ship. There is also a fitness center on board the ship. There is a spa. There are bikes on board the ship that are available for our guests when they go on tours. What we want to make sure on this one is that everybody will be very comfortable in this gluten-free environment. So we can also accommodate additional, food allergies or sensitivities. So we just need to know about it. So that's why please be so kind to mention that to Maureen, to Connie. When you register, that's something that is important for us to know, because we want to make sure, once again, that your adventure, your trip will be absolutely flawless. And as I was mentioning, you will be truly traveling through the country, and I think the picture on the right shows it very well when they're biking right here, and you see the ship just cruising by. So which is totally normal, by the way. It's not. The ship did not forget them. That's the way it's supposed to be. But you really have a lot of different possibilities: hiking, biking. I mean, however active you are, we will accommodate that. We have also different types of walking tours, because we know that not everybody walks at the same pace. And what is, I think, very important to know is that all these tours are included. So there is no need to think about what would I have to pay here or there. No, the tours are included, so you will enjoy all these places. And what will happen, of course, we will be biking, we will be touring, hiking maybe, but we are working together with the Celiac Cruise staff or team or family, as I could call them, on making sure that all the gluten-free spots, for example, what you see here is in Vienna, we will map them out for you, because we want to make sure that you're in a safe environment on board the ship, but we also want you to be able to enjoy when you will be in all these cities, when you're in Budapest, when you're, as I said, in Vienna. So that's what we are constantly doing, scouting and making sure that everything will be perfect for you. So where will we go? Connie just mentioned it. I'm from Vilshofen to Budapest. So Budapest, I can imagine that most of you, if not all of you, have heard of the Hungarian capital. I'm not so sure that you have all heard about Vilshofen. And Vilshofen is, if you look at the little cursor you see here, right there. So that's really very close to the German-Austrian border, or Bavarian, to be more precise, Austrian border, right next to Passau. And it is an absolutely amazing little village. And that's where the cruise will start. We will welcome you on board. So if you do a little zoom, you will see that's where you will start the cruise. We will welcome you on board. And as Connie mentioned, we will go from Vilshofen, so Germany, then we will cruise through Austria. And when you look at the map, you already can see that the majority of the cities and stops will be in Austria. We will also have the possibility to go to Czech Republic in Český Krumlov, then Slovakia, and finishing in Hungary in Budapest. And as I mentioned, but I want to reiterate that, it is very important for us that you enjoy your time at your own pace. and that's valid everywhere, on the ship, off the ship. We want everybody to take their time and to cherish these moments that you will have on board the AmaLea. So if we go very briefly day by day, so we will be embarking the ship in Vilshofen. So in Vilshofen, and as what you see right here is typically how it happens. We have the captain, the hotel manager, the cruise director welcoming you on board. And the first thing that happens when you arrive on the ship is that the captain and the nautical crew will give you the safety drill, the safety information. And trust me, this will be probably the most comfortable safety drill you've ever had, because you will be sitting really nicely in a sofa, and you will have a glass of champagne and you will be enjoying what the captain is saying. After that, we will be in Bavaria, as I told you. We will be very close to the Austrian border. So being in Bavaria, I mean, we want to make sure that you will be able to enjoy the Bavarian tradition. So what we will do, we will take you to an Oktoberfest, but not any kind of Oktoberfest. And when I say it's an exclusive celebration, what will be exclusive for you here is that there will be gluten-free beer, of course, but also we will have the gluten-free pretzels that will be ready for you. And you will have the entire, I would say, what anybody can think when they think about a Bavarian Oktoberfest, like you see in Munich sometimes on TV. So you will have the dancers, you will have the music, you will have the beer really on tap coming all the time. And it's a really great way to kick off the cruise. And after that, once you come back on board the ship, you will have dinner, and this will be your first completely gluten-free dinner. I mean, of course, it will on board the ship. And so we are very proud of what we do on board the ship when it comes to the culinary experience, simply because we source our ingredients locally. Everything is fresh, and which is why actually we have the possibility to be very flexible and to accommodate all the dietary restrictions or requests that our guests could have. And you will get to enjoy that from the very first moment. And there's a picture. The next picture that I will show is actually something that I believe Maureen gave to me, but it's that's how it will look like. I mean, that's what we have ready on board for you. So you will be able to enjoy the gluten-free pastries. So even if I am not, I mean, my wife has a gluten allergy, I am not, but when I see these, I can tell you that I would jump on it immediately. The next day, we will be in Passau. So Passau, we will be there, and you will have the possibility to discover this wonderful Bavarian city. If I just can give you one highlight, so that's, of course, a picture, but you see this cathedral here, go and make sure that you visit it. Inside of it, you have the largest church organ, pipe organ in the world, but it's also truly the most beautiful church organ you will see. And we will continue. We will start really going down the Danube, and you will do your first stop in Austria, and the ship will be docked in Linz. And as you can see on the side, there are quite a lot of different tours that you will be able to choose from every day. And that's the beauty of it. We know that it's not a one size fits all when it comes to a tour like this. So we want to give you all these different possibilities to go to Salzburg, to visit Linz, because maybe you just don't want to go to Salzburg or to Český Krumlov in Czech Republic. Maybe you just want to stay around and enjoy what you have around you, because Linz, I must admit, is the second largest city in Upper Austria, and it's a beautiful place. You have the Pöstling Berg where you can go for beautiful walks. It's also a place where Mozart stayed. So if you're interested in classical music, of course, Salzburg is very important. But in Linz, Linz is the only city where Mozart actually composed a symphony in 3 days. And we can even show you where he did that. And the beauty is that even now in the courtyard, there's a little inner courtyard, and your guide will take you and you can hear the symphony that Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composed there. So really a beautiful, beautiful day that you will have in Upper Austria. And we have, that's what I was mentioning earlier, we are really trying to find for you everywhere we go the best guides when it comes to a gluten-free experience. So you have the Happy Celiac, which is a travel guide that is constantly updated. And I was actually very surprised because I've been to Salzburg probably 50 times, if not more. And there were places, and I've been to the Sternbiergarten, which you see here. I've been there probably out of the 50 times, probably 20, and I did not know, but they have a complete gluten-free menu. So this will be absolutely an amazing time if you decide to go to Salzburg, because you will be able to enjoy the traditional Austrian food and in a gluten-free version. Český Krumlov, a much more active tour because everything goes uphill in Český. It's a beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Site, a medieval village in Czech Republic. The river that you see here, the Vltava River, so the Moldau, maybe you've heard that name better, which is the same river that flows through Prague. And then you will come back at the end of the day, you will come back on board the ship. And I just wanted to say, Maureen, that you will also have, we will also have the late night snacks, so late night dining options on board the ship, because we want to make sure that our guests never that they're never hungry. So what we do, and I will just give you a quick run through from the food day on board the ship. You start approximately at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's what we call the early risers breakfast. Then from 7 to 9, you will have the regular breakfast. Then the problem is that from 9 to 12, there's nothing. So what we do is that here we have morning snacks that are available on request. Then after that, 12 to 1:30-ish, because you will most likely be on excursion. So you come back on the ship, 12 to 1:30, you will have lunch. Then comes another problem, because from 1:30 to 4:30, again, there's nothing. But again, you will have afternoon snacks, okay, that will be available. Then 4:30 to 5:30, you will have the tea time. Then 5:30 to, let's say, 7, we will do a little break. And then at 7, dinner is served. And then at 10:30, the late night snacks will be served. And as you've probably understood now, the only purpose of the late night snack is to make sure that you will survive until the next early breakfast that is approximately 6 hours later. So you will not be starving on the ship, I can promise you that. And then let's continue on our little voyage. And we are approaching Vienna, but we are not in Vienna yet. We are in the Wachau Valley. The Wachau Valley is the most famous. It's very short valley. It's about 25 miles. And it's the most famous for wine in Austria, and specifically for a kind of wine, a kind of grape called Grüner Veltliner. And you might have seen at the beginning in the agenda that there will be giveaways. And we did not mention the giveaways too much yet, but since we're talking about a cruise in Austria, what I've decided to do, and I took a little picture of it, because there will be a lucky winner at the end who will be sent these bottles, and I chose them myself. I used to be in the wine business. I was a winemaker in Germany, and I have to tell you that I've tried all these ones. The Grüner Veltliner is the grape from the Wachau Valley. The Grüner Veltliner is what I have in my glass right now, and it is a beautiful wine, very famous for the peppery note. Now you will say, and look at that, Maureen is enjoying it too. And it's very famous for its peppery note, and Vanessa, there we go. But you will have also red wine. They have red wines there because there is a microclimate. And I don't want to make it only about wine, but you also have apricots that grow there, the Marillen, and you will have a tour even that will take you for an apricot tasting. And they do everything with apricot down there. And this will be in this setting. So I think for having an apricot tasting, that's a pretty cool place. That's called Dürnstein. And Dürnstein is a very famous place for two reasons. The blue tower of the monastery and the ruin that you see at the top of the hill, which is the place where King Richard Lionhearted was imprisoned when he came back from the Third Crusade. During that day, you will also visit a unique place, and I just give you a little glimpse here. The Abbey of Melk. If you've never heard about it, I can give you a little hint or a little advice. You should try to read, if you like reading, a book written by Umberto Eco. It's called The Name of the Rose. And if you read The Name of the Rose, it will give you a lot of information already about the Abbey of Melk, because It's a medieval thriller, and actually Umberto Eco started writing the book after visiting the abbey. Very famous, as you can imagine and as you can see, for its library. Almost 1,000 years of history right here. I just wanted to just do a little break also with food. So this is the typical presentation that you would have when you come to our chef's table restaurant. So we will pay a lot of attention to, of course, the quality of the ingredient, but also how they look like, how the presentation is, because we all know, or at least we say that in France, where I'm from, that you also eat with your eyes. So that's something that is very, very important. And then next day, capital city of culture, Vienna. Absolutely wonderful. If you love museums, you're in for a treat. You have more than 100 of them in this city. If you love concert halls, you're in for a treat as well, because there is also actually 106 concert halls there. And you will discover this city. You will have free time in the afternoon. And there's a concert that you will be able to attend in the evening, and it's really my favorite. I've attended 46 concerts, and actually I will be on the Danube in 2 weeks, and I can tell you that I will be at my 47th concert. Absolutely beautiful music, Johann Strauss, Junior and Senior, Mozart, of course, Beethoven, and even actually some compositions that had been directed by Gustav Mahler. So really amazing moments that you will spend during this day in Vienna. And when you come towards the end of the cruise, there will be also something very amazing. Capital city number 1, Vienna. Next day, capital city. I forgot the restaurant. I forgot Zurich. So that's also a gluten-free restaurant in the middle of the city. If you decide that you want to stay in town, ask us. We will have a list of places where to go, where to enjoy. It could be a coffee, could be pastries, could be a full dinner. Ask us, and we will be able to help you with that for sure. But then we will go to Bratislava. So second day in a row with the capital city. So they're very close. Vienna and Bratislava, 60 miles only. And also very different. Vienna, 1.8 million inhabitants. For Bratislava, you take 10 off. And Bratislava is a very young capital city because it was created or it was appointed capital city when the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic were formed. So you will have the possibility to visit the city, which is in the lower part along the Danube. And then you have also the possibility to do a hike to this beautiful castle, which will give you a view on the entire valley on the Danube there. And last but not least, Budapest. So what you see here is actually the House of the Parliament, and that's on the Pest side, because Buda is one side of the river and Pest is the other side. And there you will have a lot of places to discover. You will spend a full day in Budapest and really an amazing time. And don't forget, the ship is docked in the heart of the cities every time. So this means that you will be able to walk out of the ship and you're right there. You will be able to discover all these beautiful places. If there's only one thing that I would not recommend in Budapest, if you want to start biking, that would not be the day. The traffic in Budapest is absolutely insane. So it's very safe for pedestrians, but not for bikers. So I would just ask you to refrain of biking in Budapest. But everywhere else, biking through the vineyards, biking in Vienna, where you have bike lanes everywhere, absolutely, absolutely amazing. And there again, we will have gluten-free options outside the ship, but don't forget that your ship for this week will be your oasis of your gluten-free oasis, if I can call it so. So that's what we have for you on this beautiful 7-night cruise. If you want to know more, as Maureen and Connie actually already mentioned, make sure that you pre-register. So you go on celiaccruise.com, and for those of you who would like to join, we are offering a $250 off per person if you decide to reserve your cabin by August 1st. Voila, that's what I have for you now. And I now would like to see if we have questions.
Go ahead. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A. Emily, are you still here? I wanted to introduce Emily real quick. She is a very, very, very special person in this whole collaboration. So Emily, do you want to say a few words and just tell us how you're going to make these families' lives different with us?
Yes, thank you, Maureen. Just really honored to be a part of this collaborative and just to hear the excitement from everyone who has spoken today, and just really grateful for the work that we're going to get to do together. So I'm the founder and CEO of Food Equality Initiative, and we have actually run a supplemental nutrition assistance program for patients with celiac disease since 2015. And so we are excited to partner with Boston Children's, Celiac Kids, and the Celiac Cruise to serve families who need access to this food desperately. And so we have an online marketplace that allows families to order the foods that they want and need within their cultural diet. And then it's delivered direct to their door within 2 days. And so it's really great because it eliminates those barriers of transportation that can make it difficult for families to get to pantries for service. We've had 250 SKUs on the marketplace, and we're getting ready to scale up this September to about 1,500. So offering lots of variety of gluten-free foods, but also meeting those other dietary restrictions around dairy-free, egg-free, or whatever those other allergens may be. So just again, excited to partner to help deliver the food direct to door, but also to be a partner in the research. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily. All right, Connie,
a great question in the Q&A that I would love for Sebastian to answer, as I know that there are probably many of you thinking about this. So somebody has written in, I'm so excited about this trip, but my husband is not gluten-free and concerned about eating gluten-free the whole week. Is he going to notice a difference?
I would say no, frankly, because I can take my personal experience first. I mean, having my wife who is gluten-free, I'm eating also automatically gluten-free because we don't want to have, but on the ship, the quality of the food is absolutely amazing, and you really shouldn't be concerned. And frankly, I mean, eating gluten-free is also a very healthy thing. So if I were the husband, I would not be concerned at all. I mean, the most important is to make sure that you have your glass of wine around you, and I hope the husband drinks some wine. And then life is absolutely wonderful. And there was just also one remark, and I'm sorry because I tried to answer a few questions typing, and somebody wrote, I never knew that Buda and Pest were two cities. So yes, they were. Okay, they are not anymore. Now it's one city, but originally, actually, these were three cities. Obuda, which was composed of two parts, and then Pest. But now, since the end of the 19th century, it's one town.
Awesome. We have a question from one of our viewers, and I think Emily might be the best to answer this. Is there a way to find food pantry shelters in our area that needs gluten-free food? Maybe they're looking to donate.
Yeah, so there's really, I think, 4 organizations across the country that are doing this work on a regular basis. I know, I believe is it Northeast Celiac or National Celiac? They changed their name. They've got a gluten-free pantry that they're working with people, and I believe Massachusetts or Pennsylvania where they're located? I get confused. Massachusetts. And then there's also in Pennsylvania, there's Garden of Health, which is outside of Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. And then there's a location right outside of Baltimore. It's called the Safe Pantry. Those are all organizations I know that are working to help families with celiac disease access safe food on a regular basis, meaning they have dollars set aside to procure foods and are connecting directly with families that have celiac disease.
I would also encourage you that if you're thinking about donating to a food pantry, before you actually give them gluten-free food, call them to ask if they have families that need it, because oftentimes pantries don't keep that information and the food just goes into the general supply. And while you think that you're giving food to them to give families with celiac disease, it doesn't always get to the right hands. So make sure you ask that question before making the donation.
I would agree. That's why I recommend contacting an organization that does that specifically, because a lot of, like Vanessa said, a lot of organizations don't collect that information and it goes into general supply.
And in coming weeks, we will also be sharing a direct link. If for some reason you're not on our sailings or just want to be able to contribute $5, $10, that will go directly to what we've shared with you tonight. So stay tuned for that. We will have a link that you're able to do so.
Awesome, thank you. So we have two questions for Sebastian. So the first one is the pre and post in Budapest or Prague, depending upon if they're sailing northbound or southbound, because we're going to be offering both the pre and post in Budapest and then the pre and post in Prague. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. So very, very direct answer, yes, we will. There will be, we are offering Prague in this case as a pre-extension, but of course, those I've seen that we have some guests who will be on the first cruise, and there was the question: is Prague offered? Yes, absolutely, it is. But and correct me if I'm wrong, Maureen and Connie. What the only thing is that the gluten-free portion of the trip is the one on the ship. When we're in Prague, I mean, of course, we will be able to point out where the gluten-free places are, but the one where we, AmaWaterways, guarantee that it will be a gluten-free environment, that's on the ship. But yeah, 3 nights in Prague and the possibility of doing 2 nights in Budapest as a post extension. Great city. I mean, both cities are absolutely amazing. Prague, the first district, which is the old district, really, I mean, 90% of it is pedestrian. And then you would have, of course, the possibility to visit the Prague Castle, which is the largest castle complex in the world. Something that is very interesting to me is the Lobkowicz Palace, because many people actually don't talk about it. It is in Prague Castle. The Prague Castle is so gigantic, but the Lobkowicz family has actually the largest, it's the largest private art collection in Czech Republic, and you have the possibility to visit that. I'm just, you know, if you want to do something a little different, and of course musical concerts as well. I mean, Prague also. I mean, you have concerts in churches or temples or even at the opera that are I mean, absolutely inexpensive, and the quality of the music is absolutely incredible, and the food. I will be in Prague on August 1st, so I will go searching. And I told already Maureen and Connie, I'll go take pictures, try stuff with my wife. And there is one that is right next to the old city hall where you have the astronomical clock, and the restaurant is on the rooftop on the 7th floor. And so they said that they have a completely gluten-free menu, and I know where it's located, so we will have an amazing view. So more to come on that for sure.
I just wanted to add one thing. Again, we talked about earlier, just kind of the level of safety that we put on our brand. I want you all to know we will be going over, again, woe is us, but just to ensure, if we're going to put a recommendation on a list for you all to eat in these towns or pre and post tour, you will know it will be safe. It's just something we take very serious, that, you know, that's what we promised you. So that's what we're going to do. So we will be vetting in detail all of these options. So yes, we will have safe options free of cross-contamination and cross-contact. So we'll make sure that that box is checked.
Awesome. The next question is also for Sebastian. Is there a doctor on board, and why wouldn't there be, right?
So why would, actually, I like the second part of the question. So there will be no doctor on board, and there is a very simple and logical explanation when you think about it. If you look at just the little portion of the cruise that I just mentioned to you, we will be in Germany, we will be in Austria, we will be in Slovakia, and we will be in Hungary. Actually, the ships that we have, they go all the way down, so you can go through 10 countries. So in order to have a doctor on board, you would need a doctor who is accredited in 4 different countries. It's not like on an ocean liner where you are in international waters. That's completely different. So that's why we do not have a doctor on board. But it's really, you know, the ship on the entire stretch, if there were to be a problem, a ship can dock pretty much every 15 to 20 minutes. And you can have, if there was a need to have a doctor very, very rapidly, and trust me, the most difficult, I would say, situation I've been facing was a stroke on board, and we managed that. And so you see that when we're talking about strokes, we're talking about timing. And we managed that very, very well. The cruise manager, the captains, the hotel directors know exactly who to contact, where the doctors are. So you never have to worry. We are on, I mean, as much as Maureen can guarantee that the restaurants will be good, I can guarantee you that if there is a need for medical assistance, it will be right there.
Awesome, thank you. There was a question about flights and first night pre-hotel arrangements. Because I'm on the travel side, I'll answer that. So we offer not only published rates, but we also have contracted rates, and AmaWaterways has discounted contracted rates. So we'll be able to do like a price comparison for you and be able to help you find the flights from any city to any city. If you want to stay longer in Europe and go to a different country, we can help you with that too. Flights will be published probably in mid to late November, early December, and we'll make an appointment with everybody that's booked and go over that. We don't charge any fees for booking international flights for you. So we will walk you through every detail of that one. So I hope that answers that one. There was a question, are there packages for couples or to celebrate my 50th birthday? Yay. So yes, we just need to know what you're celebrating as you book. When you talk to our staff over at the Total Travel side, let us know, and we will certainly make sure that that we can celebrate, because we can all sing, can't we? Wouldn't that be fun to sing? Sebastian, you've been there many, many times. You're a cruise manager in your past history. What do you think the weather will be like in fall in Europe after all the crowds leave? And it's going to be beautiful, right?
Yeah, so we are talking about end of October. So basically, for those of you who want a kind of a picture, try to think about Michigan. You know, at that time of the year, what happens? All the colors change. I mean, maybe a little. That's the time where all the colors change. End of October, very beginning of November. So that's a perfect time for that. And what will happen, mostly in Austria, but since you will spend like 80% of your time there, that's good. You will see that all the vineyards will change colors. So they will have these yellow, orange shades that will be there. Temperature wise, we can expect, I mean, like mid 50s in the morning, and then it will go to the low 70s during the day. And then, so daytime, what becomes very interesting as well, because 30th of October or 23rd as well, you will just be in the daylight saving time, because it will be just the time where you switch to the winter time, let's say, if it still exists by then. But so it's also really great because it will still give you some nice evening time. And what I can only recommend is, even if it's, as I mentioned, 55, 60 degrees, but make sure you take a bathing suit, because we have the swimming pool on top of the ship on the top deck, and it's heated, and people love it. I mean, how many guests have I seen who arrive, they see the pool, and like, yeah, I'm not going to go there. And then after 2 days, usually it happens in Linz, and we go to Pick and Kloppenburg. I mean, I know exactly the name of the shop, because everybody asks me, where can we go buy a bathing suit? So we know exactly where to go. So just a little heads up.
And I heard there's a swim up bar. Like
there is, and that's a very popular place.
So Connie just asked, is there a hot tub on board? And with this ship, there's a heated pool.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, and really heated. I mean, like, it's not hot tub temperature, but it's not far.
Yeah. Mary asked, can children enjoy these cruises? And we do have lots of families, some families on board. Most children are probably 8 and up or teens. We have several people graduating from high school, celebrating high school graduations, college graduations, but there are no kids clubs or kids babysitters or anything like that. This is for more for well-traveled families with children that love history and culture and community. There's not a bike tour on every stop, right, Sebastian? Just some stops.
Almost every stop. That's really now. So, I mean, Vilshofen, we don't because it's embarkation day, but Passau, you have one, Linz, you have one, Wachau, you have one, Vienna, you have one, and Bratislava, you have one. So just really the one I mentioned in Budapest, because we like to keep all our guests until they disembark. But no, yeah, we really have a lot of bike tours now.
Well, and I know, having sailed on AmaWaterways, even if there's not a bike tour specifically, there's 50 bikes on board or something. So if you want to go for a little spin on your own, you can. The regular tours are all guided with a guide on the bike tours. But if you just want to take a bike and go ride through the city, that's a lot of fun. So we've done that several times. And the very last question, and then we'll have to go finish the questions if that's it, is all the excursions sound so exciting and interesting. How do we decide what to do for each day in each city? And I know from personal experience that, you know, that's what Sebastian's going to do. He's going to tell us what all the excursions are, and we're going to be able to choose them on board the ship. And I've even changed my mind as I was walking off the ship and chose a different excursion. You want to add anything to that, Sebastian?
Yeah, but I mean, I like the way you described it, because we don't want people to feel like, oh, I chose that and I have to go there. That's not how we do things. I mean, because the reality is that the way it's being described to you, it's a text or it's a description. And then when you will be on board the ship, what happens is that at the beginning of the cruise, we will do a cruise overview where we go really over all the tours. So that's why don't even feel pressured to book the tours ahead of time. You can, because if there are tours that you know you want to go to, of course do that. But you don't have to be pressured, because if we always have enough guides for everybody. But one last thing, I mean, how will I know what I do? The next question usually that I face on the ship is, well, if I go to this tour, what do I miss? And my answer is always the same. You miss the other tours. But you should not go, I think you should not go on a tour with the idea, oh, I will miss this or that. If you choose a tour, go for it. If you want to see the other place, you contact Connie and Maureen and you go on another cruise. Because we have so many tours, you can go basically 3 or 4 cruises in a row and you will do other different tours every time. But
Sebastian,
enjoy the tour you choose. That's the most important. Don't think about what do I miss. Do something and enjoy it.
FOMO, isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
We'll check lots of boxes. We do have some questions about vaccines. Wait till tomorrow would be my quick response. You know, we're counting on 2022, hopefully turning the calendar. And that, I mean, as of today, yes, we're dependent upon what individual countries determine, as opposed to it being Celiac Cruises determination or AmaWaterways determination. It really depends on what the individual countries say. So, you know, stay tuned. We hope, again, that time is something we can put this whole conversation behind us, and look forward to 2022. Make sure you all stay on for a few more minutes. We've got some giveaways that we want to make sure we get through. I think that was all of the questions. You all know where to find us should you think of things after the fact or for some reason we did not get to it. The big info at celiaccruise.com is where you can find all of us. So if you have any specific questions that you didn't get to or you think of after the fact, please make sure you inquire there. All right, let's do it. What are we giving away?
So
So
now comes Vanessa's magic screen, right?
yes.
All right, if you are signed in, you are on this spinner wheel. So what's up first, Maureen?
Wow, that's awesome.
We are going to give away those beautiful bottles of wine handpicked by Sebastian and AmaWaterways from all these beautiful countries we will be going to.
All right, here
All
goes.
right, spin the wheel.
We have a winner. Wonderful.
We have a
That's
winner.
David.
David Stubler. Okay, go ahead and send us, email your home address to info@celiaccruise.com and we'll get you those treats.
And
right.
can I ask if David is still here? Can you please send it tonight so that I can send it to you tomorrow? Because the day after tomorrow, I'm leaving for Europe.
All right, what is our next giveaway?
The next giveaway is a Schar goodie bag full of food and other fun.
All right, here goes.
Valerie Wrightsell, congratulations. Again, Valerie, if you'll email us at info@celiaccruise.com, your home address, we'll get that out to you from Schar soon. The next giveaway will be a cruise bag, a tote bag that Connie has there. It will be filled with some fun. Let's see, spin your wheel, Vanessa. Ooh, Catherine Hansen.
Catherine Hansen.
Congratulations. Same information and directions go. If you'll send us your information, we will be sure that you receive that. The last giveaway, what we call Celiac Cruise Cash, will be $100, however you choose to apply it, whether it be an onboard credit, whether it be gratuities, whether it be towards a future cruise, if you're not currently booked on any of our sailings. Celiac Cruise Cash. Go ahead, Vanessa. One last spin. I have to give her credit. She wrote all of these names as the webinar began. Quite impressive.
Very.
Marge. All right, congratulations. All right, so thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited about all the things to come. Thank you for your feedback, your questions, your support, your Alaska. We'll continue to keep everyone updated on plans, but you know where to find us on social media. This will be broadcasted on our YouTube channel as well as Facebook. If you missed it, or if you have family members who missed it or want to watch again, I guess you didn't miss it if you're here, but you know what I mean. But you want to replay it. There you go. So thank you all. And we can't wait to see everybody in 2022. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.